her expulsion. He's also said at this point that the report will be sent across to the Lok Sabha Speaker, who will take a decision on what next and whether this expulsion recommendation holds or not. Let me take this back across to Poulomi Saha for more. Poulomi, we've spoken about what happens next. That this report will be given to the Lok Sabha Speaker. There'll be voting that happens in the Lok Sabha. Is there any way Mahua can actually appeal against this recommendation by the Ethics Committee at this stage?
Dubai 4 times or 40 times or Timbuktu 4 times or 40
well,
times.
as far as Mahua Moitra is concerned, her options are very limited at this point of time. She cannot, like I said, very realistically, she cannot hope that, the adoption of the recommendations made in this draft report can be defeated when this is put to motion by the government in the Lok Sabha start of winter session, because simply by majority numbers, the BJP outweighs the opposition numbers over here. But expect that there will be a lot of ruckus, there will be a lot of resistance to this. Legally, can she challenge this or not in a court of law? That remains to be seen, because that is something sometimes that's available as well to a member of parliament. So her course of action is yet to be known. But, we've been speaking to closest sources close to her, and she had anticipated that this would be possibly the recommendation of the draft report. Of course, Vinod Sonkar is not revealing the details of that draft report when he spoke with you, Akshita, because obviously it's a matter of privilege. He cannot speak about it outside of that meeting. This report will essentially go in a sealed cover to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. But the fact of the matter is this is now going to be a legal battle as far as Mahua Moitra is concerned. And then, of course, the trouble as far as the CBI is concerned, because the Lokpal on the complaint of Nishikant Dubey again has gone ahead and recommended the CBI probe, which is what
BJP MP Nishikant Dubey, who took this forward with the Lok Sabha Speaker. He's now hailed Praneeth Kaur for voting in favour of the report that sought the expulsion of Mahua Moitra. Nishikant Dubey has just in fact put out a comment. Rajdeep Roy, who's a part of the Ethics Committee, is also joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Rajdeep Roy, we understand that the Ethics Committee has now gone ahead and recommended the expulsion of Mahua Moitra. Can you explain to us, sir, what are the circumstances? Why was this recommendation made? I know you can't give out much details as part of the Ethics Committee.
Someone, they'll get him on somebody else. So for me, they're trying to encircle me. So first get the Ethics Committee to send to the CBI, and then, by the way, if we haven't got a cover on that side, let's just for good measure also get a referral made by the Lokpal to the CBI. I mean, this is the typical kind of tactics. Abhishek's come out today and very clearly said it's a political witch hunt, and anyone who speaks about against Adani in the country, they want to expel them from parliament. I'm not the first person they covered, but they didn't succeed the first time, and they're not going to succeed.
So you believe this is not the end of your political career? You will continue to fight. Am I correct?
Whatever report has been given by that.
Rajdeep, only an anchor sitting in Delhi could say that.
Mr. Roy, yes, these are serious allegations of cash for query against Mahua Moitra, but there's always been a question about whether there's evidence to back that up, sir. Is that mentioned in the report, the evidence against Mahua Moitra?
The report is of 479 pages. Many of us are aware of it. And this report contains all the details given by Meiti Ministry, Home Ministry, External Affairs Ministry. The lobbying that was done from UAE for 47 times has also been mentioned in the report with all details.
Can I ask you one final question? This started off, if I may say so, ironically, with a battle, seeming custody battle over a dog.
So there is no denying the fact.
Mr. Jai Dehat Rai, the original complainant, has put out a tweet welcoming back Henry, the dog, back to his house, saying you're back with me.
We have seen that during the delimitation bill of Jammu Kashmir of 2009, the portal was hacked. Somebody leaked the report of the delimitation of Jammu Kashmir 2019, and this is a serious offence. It leads to a threat of our national security. Sometimes the bill, even before passed, are put on the members' portal. This should not be made access to people who work against the interest of our country. So we as the Ethics Committee have taken a very strong exception.
Let's leave it there, Mahua Moitra.
As far as giving of login access to a person who has accepted from foreign source 47 times, and these are serious matters. So we have done our recommendation. We now hope that the Honourable Speaker of Lok Sabha will take care. decision
From what you're saying, Mr. Roy, you're saying that there's concrete evidence that proves that bills of sensitive nature were leaked even before they were tabled?
Your expulsion from the Lok Sabha, claiming that you have breached national security.
What you told us, Mr. Roy, and I just want confirmation of that. You're saying there's concrete evidence that sensitive bills information was leaked even before they were tabled.
To that order of or recommendation
we are
expulsion.
That's what we are given to understand. Yesterday evening, there has been
I think for me it's a badge of honor,
were reporting
because I think I'm going to go down in history as the first person
obviously I
who was
came to
unethically expelled
see the
by
report
the
only
Ethics
today
Committee,
morning
whose mandate
when I
did
landed
not
up in Delhi.
extend to an expulsion.
I landed up
the
in
best they
Delhi.
can
But
do is
yes,
actually a suspension.
of course there are
It is only the Privileges Committee that can recommend an expulsion.
So you're saying that a lot of this is mentioned in the report. Thank you, Mr. Rajdeep Joy. I also want to bring in right now Aparajita Sarangi, BJP MP, again someone who's member of the Ethics Committee. Ma'am, your first reaction to what's playing out right now. You've had several of the opposition leaders saying this is nothing but politically motivated. Will the 479-page report be able to establish that the allegations against Mahua Moitra are not just grave, but also proven?
The agenda said discussion, consideration and adoption
I can
of the
only
report
say
of the
that
agenda.
this is
And when the
anything
members
but
walked in,
politics, anything but political vendetta.
The chairperson said, no, we don't
There was breach of privilege, there was contempt of house,
so it was over
and
in
there
2
was
minutes.
violation of rules of procedure and conduct of business of Lok Sabha, and that is why this happened. I'm very sad because
so I think, this is a
we had to recommend the expulsion of a colleague from the Lok Sabha. This has happened, but it had to happen. Because, we had all the statements and all these statements were properly analyzed, and it's a very detailed reporting that has been done. And there was voting too, and as you know, there was 6-4. 6 went in favor and 4 against. And we have sent the report to Honorable Speaker, so the next course of action will be taken by the Honorable Speaker.
Ms. Sarangi, can you confirm for us that one of the Congress MPs, Praneeth Kaur, actually voted in favor of the report?
Yes,
which has led to this recommendation for expulsion.
So that's also been updated. There are concerns, however, in the course of this hearing, Aparajita Sarangi ma'am, that Mahua Moitra hasn't really been represented fairly, considering that she stormed out of the previous hearing and then there was no other.
National security. Your login password being shared.
Nobody would support unethical conduct.
Darshan Hiranandani's
and
office,
everything is in black and white.
Is being seen
and
as
there
a
is an
violation of
affidavit which has
national
been
security,
shown by
according
Darshan
to the committee
Hiranandani.
report.
So I think the questions, etc., which had been posed by the Honorable Chairman of the committee were confined to the affidavit shown by Hiranandani. So I think everything is open and above board and nothing to be asked. And there is absolutely no politics. Everything is there. Everything is in black and white, as I say, I underscore. So I think today this has been done with a heavy heart. We have done this, and now the Speaker will decide the next course of action.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us here on India Today. I also want to bring in Mr. Vaidilingam of the Congress, who's again a part of the Ethics Committee. Mr. Vaidilingam, thank you for joining us here on India Today. You voted against this report, sir. Why did you do that?
Actually, it's very unfortunate. The chairman, without discussion, actually he promised us after the witness crossing examination, we are ready to discuss. But without discussion, the chairman presented a resolution and passed it without our discussion. That is the main point. And moreover, we want to examine the Darshan Hiranandani, but the chairman is not allowed.
So you're saying you weren't consulted, Mr. Vaidilingam? You're saying you're not consulted because Mr. Rajdeep Roy says the dissent notes that you've submitted have also been attached to the report.
I agree, but after the resolution, presented draft resolution, it should be discussed in the committee. There is no discussion in the committee.
Ma'am, even while you just a minute,
they adopt the resolution without discussion?
No rules specifically mentioning how do you use...
Have you had a chance to go through the report, sir? Because all of the other reactions that we've got, the MPs who voted in favour of the report say that there is serious evidence against Mahua Moitra mentioned in detail in the 479-page report.
47 times. They've used that information.
Actually, you can see all the reports are one-sided. It's not fully discussed. After the evidence are given, it should be discussed within the committee. There is no discussion within the committee.
I said that I have given
Okay, and you're also saying that your question and request to go ahead and cross-examine Darshan Hiranandani was shot down.
Yeah. That is the one point. Another one, after the draft resolution given, on the draft resolution, we must be discussed.
Every parliamentarian
there is no discussion.
As long as they receive
straight away chairman goes for the voting.
Any question that is in
but the question also, Mr. Vaidilingam, is while you and several of your colleagues have voted against, there's a member of your own party, of the Congress, Ms. Praneet Kaur, who's voted in favor of the report.
This is not a party. This is a privilege as a member. You must understand. This is a privilege as a member. And moreover, it is the privilege of the women member.
But then the question is, sir, someone who is politically aligned, you could say, to your side, has still chosen to take the other side because perhaps there's concrete evidence that she believes in as a woman.
Actually, you can see, we are supporting
Mahua Moitra
as a parliament member. We must protect our interests.
Login password to a researcher or someone in your own office.
We must protect our rights in the parliament. That is the main issue. Whether he belongs to party or which party, that's a different one.
Okay.
Not at all. He's my friend. If there are no rules,
Mr. Vaidilingam, thank you for joining us here on India Today. We've given you both sides, both versions, those who voted for the report, those who voted against it as well. But with 6 votes now, including a Congress MP, including a Congress leader, Praneet Kaur, who voted for the report, the recommendation of expulsion of Mahua Moitra will now be forwarded to the Lok Sabha Speaker. A 479-page report that reportedly goes into great detail about the allegations against Mahua, the evidence against Mahua Moitra. The dissent notes of the opposition's MPs who are part of the Ethics Committee has also been attached for the perusal of the Lok Sabha Speaker. There is going to be due protocol procedure that's followed, which is after this, the Lok Sabha Speaker will scrutinize, then they will be voting in the Lok Sabha. But it doesn't look good for Mahua Moitra right now with this recommendation of expulsion. Anytime now, the ethics panel meet will begin to decide and seal the fate of TMC MP Mahua Moitra in the cash-for-query case. Ethics panel members, as we speak, have started arriving for the huddle. As you see on the left of your screens there, you have Congress leader V. Vaidilingam and several others who are now coming in. Now, before the meeting actually begins, let's get you details that we're picking up. Sources are telling us here on India Today that some opposition MPs have already handed over a dissent note over the draft report. Now, the draft report allegedly calls for Mahua's expulsion because of the evidence against her that she received luxury items as gifts in order to give her parliamentary login details to Darshan Hiranandani. So the Ethics Committee report reportedly does call for her expulsion, which is why some opposition MPs have now sent across a dissent note. MPs are arriving, as you can see there on your screens. That's BJP MP Aparajita Sarangi. Remember, this is a 15-member ethics committee that's coming together, out of which you have 6 members of the BJP, besides, of course, the chairman, Mr. Vinod Sonkar, who's already said that the charges against Mahua are extremely serious. You've got other members from the Congress, the YSRCP, Left, BSP, all of them who are a part of the ethics committee, and some opposition MPs have already given a dissent note, as reportedly the draft report does call for Mahua's expulsion. Polami Saha is joining us with more details on this. Polami, how do things look right now? You know, if there is a dissent note that's being put forth by opposition MPs, does it look like the expulsion then could be put on hold? What are the numbers like,
Polami? So they are saying in the 500 pages there's no evidence. The complainant could provide no evidence.
Well, the numbers as far as the composition of this committee in itself, Akshita, are in favor of the ruling alliance, the BJP, plus allies. So if they have a full strength, which is what they've tried to do, they've tried to ensure that all their members are present today, bringing up allies as well. The Shiv Sena is part of this. The Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde faction is part of this as well, though I'm not very sure if Mr. Hemant Godse, Patil, who's part of this, will be able to arrive here because he was mistaken about the date of this committee meeting. Remember, earlier it was said that it was the 7th of November. So it remains to be seen whether indeed he comes today because he had to go back after he realized he had reached Delhi on the wrong date. Via CP, the BJP, of course, will hope that Mr. Balashuri will be, in fact, extending his support to the adoption of this draft report, which has been prepared by the committee. Also, a lot of doubt around which way Praneet Kaur will be casting her ballot. She's, of course, a Congress member of Parliament, but also the wife of Captain Amrinder Singh, who is now with the BJP. As far as the opposition is concerned, we're still waiting to see how many of them arrive.
Yeah, Paula, just stay with me. Let's cut across to now reactions that are coming in.
पहले रिपोर्ट आ जाती है मेंबर्स के पास आने से, तो कम से कम पहले इस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए कि आखिर एनडीटीवी ने रिपोर्ट कहां से एक्सेस की, 275 रूल को कौन ब्रेक कर रहा है? From the day when chairman and the ruling party members are breaking it.
दानिश भाई, आपका क्या रुख है आज के रिपोर्ट?
जो अंदर डिस्कस होगा हम बाहर नहीं बताते, न पहले कभी बताया न आगे बताएंगे, लेकिन दर के अंदर पहले रिपोर्ट आ जाती है मेंबर्स के पास आने से, तो कम से कम पहले ही इस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए कि आखिर एनडीटीवी ने रिपोर्ट कहां से एक्सेस की, 275 रूल को कौन ब्रेक कर रहा है? From the day when chairman and the ruling party members are breaking it.
दानिश भाई, आपका क्या रुख है आज के रिपोर्ट?
जो अंदर डिस्कस होगा हम बाहर नहीं बताते, न पहले कभी बताया न आगे बताएंगे, लेकिन दर के अंदर
This is their prerogative to take. They are trying to make it a political issue instead of issue of ethics, morality. That is the reason.
बहुत सारे अपोजिशन जो सदस्य हैं, सबने आरोप लगाया है कि ये एक तरह से
उनका नजरिया है देखने का, वो इनको पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड इशू बनाना चाहते हैं, सिवाय की एथिक्स की इशू है.
So you can see the clear divide within the ethics panel as well in the reactions that are coming in. Danish Ali, BSP MP, also faces action right now. And I want to bring in Paulami Saha on this as well. Paulami, there is also going to be a decision by the chairman on whether he finds merit to take action against Danish Ali for his Draupadi Ka Cheer Haran comment that he made. So it looks like it could be double trouble essentially for the India Alliance at the end of this meet.
Please come in and see what I have.
Can I ask you though, now that this recommendation of expulsion is
yet to see what exactly is recommended in that report in terms of action against Danish Ali, but we've been told by sources that Danish Ali does find a mention in that draft report which has been prepared by the committee, and that is for his conduct inside the meeting that happened last on November 2nd about the kind of aspersions that he cast on the committee chairman Binod Sonkar. Danish Ali, of course, was one of those who walked out along with Mahua Moitra, stormed out of that meeting, alleging that deeply personal questions and unethical questions were being asked by the Ethics Committee chief, and it was completely unwarranted. Danish Ali, of course, is present in this meeting right now. He is expected to, of course, protest very heavily when that report is adopted as well, because the opposition members who have gone in, we've spoken to them already. We're expecting at least 5 opposition members to be present during this meeting, which includes Girdhari Yadav of the JDU, P. Natarajan, P.R. Natarajan, who is the CPIM MP, as well as B. Vaithalingam, who is from the Congress, from Puducherry, and also Praneet Kaur from the Congress as well. Though, of course, like I said, which way Praneet Kaur votes will be very interesting. Uttam Reddy, who again has been a very vocal member inside these ethic panel meetings, unfortunately has been unable to attend this meeting today because he has been nominated by the Congress to contest the Lok Sabha, the Assembly elections in Telangana, and he was very busy earlier today filing his nomination in Telangana, it being an auspicious day. So he's not going to be present. So the opposition numbers are definitely outweighed by the BJP and its allies.
So we'll see what is really the outcome of this meet. Thanks very much, Paulami, for getting us all of those details. Let's round up for you all the reactions that have come in to this big story. This is the cash for query case that continues to haunt Mahua Moitra. India Today has also accessed details of what the ethics panel draft report contains against Mahua. Now, the panel has suggested reportedly Mahua's immediate expulsion from Lok Sabha in his draft report after claiming that she visited Dubai 4 times and that her login credentials were used 47 times from Dubai. Not just this, the draft report also stated the TMC MP sought cash and luxury items from businessman Darshan Hiranandani. remaining defiant. Mahua lambasted the BJP, saying that the party hasn't come across a strong-headed woman and thereby essentially vowing that she will continue her fight. BSP MP Danish Ali too could face action allegedly for bad-mouthing the ethics panel chair. Let's get you all the political reactions also. Support pouring in for Mahua. TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee has spoken out, saying Mahua can't defend herself. Congress's Adir has also backed Mahua, calling all of this nothing but political vendetta. Important to highlight what Abhishek Banerjee has said, because the Trinamool Congress so far has refrained from really commenting, saying we'll see what comes out of the ethics panel hearing. But the TMC now asserting that Mahua is competent enough to fight her own battles.
Thank you.
Joining me now is our newsmaker tonight, Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra. Appreciate your joining us, Mahua Moitra. The ethics panel of Parliament has recommended your expulsion from the Lok Sabha, claiming that you have breached national security and wanting an investigation into alleged cash for questions. Your first reaction to that order or recommendation of expulsion?
We have to remain strong.
Unethically expelled by the ethics committee, whose mandate did not even extend to an expulsion. The best they can do is actually a suspension. It is only the privileges committee that can recommend an expulsion. So even that these people, if they're haste, they get right. But Meena doesn't make this was a fixed national committee. And today, as I think you tweeted about it as well, that the draft report was not circulated last night. At night, it was given to NDTV. Please don't beat this.
आज एक महत्वपूर्ण बैठक होने वाली है, क्या उम्मीद है?
देखिए, निशिकांत जी के द्वारा जो लोकसभा स्पीकर को कंप्लेन किया गया था और हीरा नंदानी जी के द्वारा जो एफिडेविट दिया गया था, उसी के आधार पर एथिक्स कमेटी के द्वारा महुआ मोइत्रा का बयान को दर्ज किया गया है और देहदरई वकील साहब का भी बयान को दर्ज किया गया है। इन सब के आधार पर एक प्रस्ताव एथिक्स कमेटी जो तैयार है, उस प्रस्ताव के ऊपर चर्चा के लिए और उस प्रस्ताव पे एडॉप्शन के लिए आज बैठक बुलाई गई है। अब कमेटी निर्णय करेगी क्या होना है।
पिछली बार जिस तरह का रवैया रहा महुआ मोइत्रा का, वो उठ के भाग गई और कहीं ना कहीं उन्होंने आरोप लगाया कि उनके साथ जो दुर्व्यवहार किया, द्रौपदी का चीरण हुआ, इस तरह के शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया गया।
देखिए, जिस प्रकार से उन्होंने बाहर जिन शब्दों का उपयोग कमेटी के ऊपर, कमेटी के चेयरमैन के ऊपर किया है, निश्चित रूप से एक सांसद के नाते, एक महिला के नाते, एक पढ़े लिखे वकील के नाते उन पर शोभा नहीं देती। कमेटी के द्वारा जो भी प्रश्न पूछे गए वो वही प्रश्न है जो एफिडेविट से संदर्भित थे और या जो कंप्लेनेंट के द्वारा कंप्लेन थे, लेकिन वो सीधे सीधे प्रश्नों का जवाब देने के बजाय इस प्रकार का हंगामा खड़ा करके केवल और केवल देश में, समाज में एक भ्रम की स्थिति पैदा करना चाहती है।
स्टेप सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने उठाया है और एथिक्स कमेटी ने एक चीज, जितना डिसेंट नोट का पोर्शन कल मेरे पास आया, उसमें एथिक्स कमेटी के चेयरमैन ने लिखा है कि भाई इनके खिलाफ कुछ है तो आप इन्वेस्टिगेट करो, अगर आपके पास नहीं है एंड इट इज सब्जेक्ट टू इन्वेस्टिगेशन तो आपने एक्सपल्शन कैसे रिकमेंड किया। मेरा सवाल बस इतना है और मुझे लगता है कि महुआ मोइत्रा इज कॉम्पिटेंट इनफ टू फाइट अ बैटल ऑन हर ओन। मुझे भी 4 साल से ये बुला रहा है, पूछताछ कर रहा है, अलग अलग केसेस में अटैक कर रहा है, एक में कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है तो दूसरे में अटैक कर रहा है, दूसरे में कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है तो तीसरे में अटैक कर रहा है। वो इनका स्टैंडर्ड प्रैक्टिस है।
शुरू से ही ये पता चल गए थे कि एथिक्स कमेटी की गठन के पीछे मकसद तो एक ही थी कि महुआ मोइत्रा को सदस्यता खारिज किया जाए। राहुल गांधी जी की भी सदस्यता खारिज किए गए थे। हमारे हिंदुस्तान के जाने माने उद्योगपति के खिलाफ बात रखने के लिए वही इल्जाम इनके खिलाफ भी लगी हुई थी। कोई नियमों के खिलाफ कुछ हुआ हो सकता, लेकिन इसके नतीजा ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि सदस्यता ही खारिज कर
which questions and travel
amid all
reimbursements could be
this,
done,
one of the Ethics Committee members, JDU MP Girdari Yadav, has claimed that the government is trying to scuttle his voice by ensuring that he doesn't reach Delhi today. He claims that the flight which he was supposed to take was cancelled, and he blames the centre for this, calling it a conspiracy.
Sign an affidavit saying they are the only ones using their passport. I haven't seen them do any
हम
of
अपने
that.
क्षेत्र से दिल्ली आने के लिए कल देवघर से दिल्ली की जो फ्लाइट थी वो फ्लाइट कैंसिल कर दिया गया, नहीं आया फ्लाइट। आज हमको हम 9:55 में कलकत्ता आए थे फ्लाइट पकड़ने के लिए, एयर इंडिया का टिकट था 3 घंटा वो क्या कहते हैं 2352 है राजेंद्र नगर हावड़ा बड़ी मुश्किल में एयरपोर्ट पर पहुंचे, 3 घंटा लेट, तब जो फ्लाइट मिलेगी दिल्ली के लिए अब देखते हैं इंडिगो की फ्लाइट इसको भी लोग कैंसिल करता है कि नहीं करता, ये देखना है।
तो आप ये मान रहे हैं कि सर ये जान के आपको नहीं आने दिया जा रहा है?
हमारे सामने में मालगाड़ी निकाल रहा है जैसे से और एक्सप्रेस ट्रेन को रोक रहा है, तो क्या जाहिर होता है? यही जाहिर होता है कि ये लोग नहीं चाहता कि हम लोग हमारी आवाज को दबाना चाहता है, लोकतंत्र की आवाज को दबाना चाहते हैं, ये सब अच्छी बात नहीं है लोग।
So what are the allegations against Mahua Moitra? Why does she face expulsion right now? Here's what the draft report that we've accessed here on India Today says about Mahua Moitra. First, that the TMC MP visited Dubai 4 times and her parliamentary login was used 47 times again from Dubai. The IP address of the login was the same every single time. For all the 47 times used in Dubai, the IP address was the same. And that's why, according to this draft report from the ethics panel, it says that these wrongdoings call for immediate expulsion of Mahua Moitra. They also believe that there could be the possibility of sensitive bills information being leaked. Mahua, according to this draft report, sought cash, sought luxury items, all of this in exchange for her parliamentary login. Not just that, she also sought a renovation of her bungalow as well as fully paid holidays. Now, besides that, Mahua, according to the draft report, it gives great details of what she received. They say that she received an Hermes scarf, Bobby Brown makeup, as well as a car to use. Mahua, remember, has admitted to using Darshan Hiranandani's car, as well as some of these luxury gifts, even when she's spoken to India Today. But that's been made a mention of in the report, saying that she's admitted to these being given to her. And that's why the draft report says that this act is unethical and a clear breach of parliamentary privilege. And also, what is important to highlight here, in the draft report from the ethics panel, it highlights that Mahua's statement on gifts differs from what Darshan Hiranandani has said. Darshan Hiranandani claims that he's given a lot of gifts to Mahua. Mahua says it was 1 or 2 things which were essentially favors from a friend. So this saga continues to play out. The ethics panel meet is expected to start any time now, and we, of course, will get you the big takeaways from that huddle.
To buy airports and ports in this country when you don't know who owns.
Now remember that the 15 members of the ethics committee are coming together for this particular meeting, and sources are telling us that some of the opposition leaders who are part of the ethics panel have already sent across a dissent note against Mahua's expulsion. Now, even as the panel could just recommend her expulsion, remember that it doesn't end there. There's a lot more procedures that need to be followed, including voting that could take place in Parliament that will finally seal Mahua Moitra's fate.
Mahua Moitra, by way of accepting money, cash and kind, amenities and various other facilities from Shri Darshan Hiranandani.
All right, big breaking news that's coming in right now. The ethics panel meet on Mahua Moitra has begun. Opposition MPs have submitted dissent notes. So India Today's newsbreak has been confirmed that the opposition MPs have made it clear that they are not for Mahua's expulsion. But the meeting is now underway. All of the members have come in. We will confirm for you in just a bit on whether all 15 members are there or not, because in this kind of a case, the numbers matter a great deal for Mahua Moitra. Her fate will be sealed in the next few minutes, but what we're hearing right now is that the draft report, which recommends her expulsion, which we've accessed here on India Today, it's based on that the opposition MPs have now submitted dissent notes. They're against her expulsion. But if you look at really how the composition of the ethics committee, things aren't really in favor of the opposition. You've got 6 members of the BJP plus the chairman, of course, who make up this 15-member ethics committee. You've got 3 members from the Congress and then several other leaders as well. But remember, while we say 6 members of the BJP, that doesn't include several of their allies. So of the 15-member ethics committee, the numbers are definitely in favor of the ruling party, all of whom have also made it clear in their brief conversations with the media that they believe that what Mahua has allegedly done is unethical. Now, the report at this point, we're being told, does suggest that she be expelled because of their allegations being extremely serious. And this is something that the Ethics Committee chairman, speaking to India Today, also said, that these are extremely grave charges that Mahua Moitra faces. Opposition MPs are making clear that they are against this step. They've sent across and submitted dissent notes as well to express their displeasure over her expulsion. Remember that the opposition MPs who are a part of the ethics panel have made it clear that they believe this is nothing but a political witch hunt and that there is no sort of evidence to prove any of these claims of a serious parliamentary breach being reported.
On the national security, there's no logic. It's illogical and patently absurd. On the second point, they haven't found anything.
So the meeting, as we speak, is underway. We're going to be getting you details from what's happening inside. Besides Mahua, there are also questions about whether DSP MP Danish Ali, who's a part of the ethics panel, could also face action for the comments that he made against the chairman. The last time the ethics committee had come together, we saw dramatic scenes playing out. That was when Mahua Moitra was being cross-examined. And remember, she stormed out saying that filthy questions were being asked of her, filthy language was being used against her during the cross-examination, and she particularly accused the chairman of the ethics committee, Vinod Sonkar, of this. Now remember, if we are going to be seeing her expulsion being recommended by the ethics committee, doesn't end there. There is a slew of procedure to be followed soon after that as well, but it is going to be a big step that doesn't for sure work in Mahua's favor. I want to play out for you now a conversation that we had with the chairman of the ethics panel from a few hours ago.
On what basis? I could have gone to Dubai 4 times, 40 times. I can go to Switzerland 800 times.
So you're open to a...
Somebody who doesn't have a degree and shouldn't be in the Lok Sabha in the first place.
Okay, so that's the latest sequence, in fact, that we have with the chairman, Vinod Sonkar, as he made his way inside. Not really willing to give details of what exactly he's thinking at this point, but making his way into the hall. The meeting, remember, has begun now. Paulami Saha joining us with more details on this. Paulami, as you reported for us earlier, it's now been confirmed that opposition MPs have submitted their dissent note right now, and this because there are some reports suggesting that the final decision by the ethics committee is for the expulsion of Mahua Moitra.
Will they now speak up strongly in your favor? Or are there, as your critics
well, yes,
in the
so
BJP
opposition MPs have, in fact, the ones we've spoken to have said that they will be submitting dissent notes. They'll do so as soon as that draft report is taken up for adoption and the voting takes place. So that is going to happen just in a short while from now. They will, of course, discuss that draft report and its salient points and the action which is being recommended in this case to the Lok Sabha Speaker. Remember, it is a 500-page report. It includes the reports that the Ministry of Home Affairs sent to the ethics panel, the Ministry of IT sent to the ethics panel, the authentication of Darshan Hiranandani's sworn affidavit as well by the ME as well. All of it has been included and several such annexures have been added, which makes it a bulky 500-page report, which basically will in fact recommend the expulsion of Mahua Moitra from Parliament from the 17th Lok Sabha, and that is what we're learning from our sources. At that point of time, we're expecting members of Parliament point, at least those like Mr. Vaidilingam, like Mr. Natarajan, PR Natarajan, I beg your pardon, as well as Danish Ali and Girdhari Yadav to submit their dissent notes as well. Uttam Reddy, who couldn't participate in this meeting, will also be sending in his dissent note, we believe, as well, because he is campaigning in Telangana at the moment. So clearly there's going to be a lot of fireworks as far as this meeting is concerned, because one of the points that the members of the opposition will be raising, of course, is about the leak of this very controversial reports. Remember, yesterday, even before the draft report had reached these members so that they could study it before going into this meeting, the media had picked up on various aspects of that report and had started reporting about it. And this is something that the opposition MPs will be saying, because this is a matter of privilege. They have the right to see the report first. The report needs to be brought forth and discussed in the committee meeting to be adopted, and only then possibly, you can explain if the report got out. But the fact that the MPs hadn't received it and the media had seen snatches of it or accessed snatches of it was something that the opposition MPs have been very vocally, speaking their minds about, and they're likely to bring this up in that meeting as well, which started about at 4:15 this evening.
So that's an important point as well, Paulami. The opposition MPs who are part of the Ethics Committee have been questioning how is it that the draft report is something that the media has already accessed. So they're questioning whether there's a leak of some sort, something that they've been highlighting previously as well, when they've questioned how Nishikant Dubey had some of the details of what the ethics panel was discussing even before it was brought up in these meetings. But Paulami, for our viewers, let's just explain what happens here post this meeting. Now, let's say, for instance, a decision is taken that Mahua Moitra is going to be expelled, or they recommend that. What's the next step?
Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra, appreciate your joining us, Mahua Moitra. The ethics panel
that in itself will go as a recommendation. That draft report will be submitted to the Speaker's office. The Speaker obviously will have the opportunity to study that report as well. And when the winter session of Parliament convenes, possibly even on the first day, given of course how the BJP is pushing through with this committee and of course the proceedings of the committee, the BJP could possibly on the first day itself could have the report tabled in the Lok Sabha, and then basis that could in fact call for a vote in terms of adoption of the recommendations made in that report. A motion could be moved in favour of adopting the recommendations made in that report by the Ethics Committee, which would then mean that Mahua Moitra and her expulsion would be, her recommended expulsion would be up for voting, and given the majority that the BJP and allies in fact have in the Lok Sabha, it's only anybody's guess whether that will pass through or not, which is very likely.
All right, Paulami, thanks for the moment for joining us with all of those details. Big breaking news that's coming in. The ethics panel meet report has been adopted. There have been 6 votes in favour of the panel report, 4 against. And what's interesting is one of the Congress MPs has actually voted in favour of the report, and the ethics panel thereby has gone ahead and recommended that Mahua Moitra be expelled as a member of Parliament.
That's how desperate to shut me up. So I think, this is a foregone...
All right, we're going to get you a reaction from the Ethics Committee Chairman, Mr. Vinod Sonkar, who you see on your screens. He's just spoken, confirming what we're breaking for you here on India Today, that there have, in fact, the Ethics Panel report has been adopted, which speaks of Mahua's expulsion. To quickly break down for you how the votes went down, 4 opposition MPs voted against the report. Danish Ali of the BSP, Vaidilingam of the Congress, PR Natarajan of the left, Girdhari Yadav of JDU. The rest of the members of Parliament voted in favour of this report. Interestingly, one of the Congress MPs, Praneeth Kaur, also voted for this panel recommending Mahua's expulsion. Let's play out for you the chairman's reaction.
एथिक्स कमेटी के द्वारा महुआ मोइत्रा पे जो आरोप था उसको लेकर एथिक्स कमेटी द्वारा रिपोर्ट तैयार की गई थी। आज के मीटिंग का सिंगल एजेंडा था उसको लेकर रिपोर्ट को एडॉप्ट करना, और इसमें रिपोर्ट को एडॉप्ट किया गया है, जिसमें 4 ऑपोजिशन एमपीज, 4 एमपीज 6 लोग समर्थन में थे और 4 लोगों ने पेटिशन ऑफ जम
सर वोटिंग भी हुई? सर वोटिंग भी हुई?
हाँ, वोटिंग हुई।
सर वोटिंग
एक विस्तृत रिपोर्ट माननीय लोकसभा स्पीकर को सौंपा जा रहा है और उसमें कमेटी के द्वारा जो फैक्ट फाइंडिंग पाई गई है उस रिपोर्ट के आधार पर एक विस्तृत रिपोर्ट अपने प्रस्ताव के साथ, अपनी सिफारिश के साथ लोकसभा स्पीकर को भेजी जा रही है। अभी सब कार्रवाई जो भी होना है वो लोकसभा स्पीकर के सिफारिश हम लोगों ने अपनी रिपोर्ट, विस्तृत रिपोर्ट लोकसभा स्पीकर को अडॉप्ट करने के बाद कल सौंप देंगे। उसके बाद जो भी कार्रवाई,
सिफारिश तो क्या है?
सिफारिश वही, क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट में जब तक वो प्रेजेंट नहीं हो जाएगी तब तक वो देखिए, कमेटी के सभी सदस्यों ने, चाहे निशिकांत जी के द्वारा जो आरोप था या हीरा नंदानी जी के द्वारा जो एफिडेविट था या अधिवक्ता वकील साहब जो यादरी के द्वारा जो बयान था, उन सब रिपोर्ट को विस्तृत अध्ययन करने के बाद एक विस्तृत रिपोर्ट कमेटी द्वारा तैयार किया गया और तैयार करने के बाद अपनी सिफारिश के साथ लोकसभा स्पीकर को हम लोग भेज रहे हैं। इसकी आगे कार्रवाई लोकसभा
The first detailed reaction coming in from the Ethics Committee chairman, who's confirmed that yes, the voting has taken place and the ethics panel has recommended Mahua's expulsion. Polami Saha joining us with more on this. Big breaking news, Polami, 6 votes in favour of the panel report, in favour of expulsion of Mahua Moitra. There were about 4 who were against. A Congress MP also chose to side with the ruling party and their allies, saying that yes, the expulsion must be recommended.
Had requested my friend's office to type in my questions. The OTP
That's right. That's the news that's coming in right now. The ethics panel, in a very short meeting that they have adopted the report which was prepared, the draft report which was prepared, which in fact has recommended expulsion of Mahua Moitra from the 17th Lok Sabha. There was voting that took place as well. In fact, inside that meeting, in fact, 6 members who participated voted in favour of adoption of that draft report. There are 4 members who in fact voted against. That included Danish Ali of the BSP, B. Vaitilingam, who is of the Congress party, also PR Natarajan, CPM member of parliament, and of course Giridhari Yadav, who is of the JDU. They voted against the adoption of this bill. Now this will be sent in fact to the Lok Sabha Speaker with the recommendations that have been made in that draft report. Among those who in fact voted in favour of that adoption of the report include Aparajita Sarangi, include